Good evening, everybody. This is Cinnamon Noir, and welcome back to Deltarune Chapter 2. So, we've managed to get out from our cell. This room full of doors, very reminiscent of Monsters, Inc., actually. But, let's take a little look at this room now that we've gotten out of it. So yeah, apparently the Queen created a perfect room for us, which she thought would keep us there forever just by going through our search history. And unfortunately, our search history is terrible, so didn't give her much of a clue. And yeah, this was Susie's room. Nah. Some things are better left as mysteries, I believe. I guess Berdly is not worth a full room. I would definitely agree with that, so Toby Fox and I are on the same level in that particular sense. Ah, tough choice. But no. No, we mustn't peek. Let's get Lancer out of here. I'm sure any solution you come up with, Berdly, is going to be absolutely wonderful. Yes, but he needs time. Obviously, a true brain spurt like him needs to take plenty of time in order to solve this relatively simple light puzzle, which you might remember from Resident Evil. There we go. Yeah, I figured it out eventually. No, this is a very simple puzzle. All you really do is rotate these things and then put them into place. And you need to create a shape. 6-year-old level. Which means, of course, it's way beyond Berdly's abilities. Ah, yes, the master of suspense. You're like Alfred Hitchcock over here, man. Yeah. I think we're starting to see the Emperor's lack of clothes here. Yes. It's all lag. See, Berdly's not actually bad at puzzles, it's all just lag. Because he's a true gamer, which means he blames everything on lag. I know a thing or two about this. So yeah, this one is fairly simple. May seem a little bit more complicated because of the way things are angled, but all it really means is you can't necessarily put them into the parts of the triangle you were originally hoping to. Really, this is fairly simple. I had a set of tangrams when I was a kid, and this reminds me a lot of tangrams. So yeah, it's not quite perfect placement. I'm definitely not getting the world speed record on this one, but... There we go. It's the Triforce. We woke up in the wrong game. The brute force method? Excuse me, Triforce method, Berdly. Should we stay in the room? Or should we just go into the other room? Ah, Susie's already done it. But I wanted to give him a chance, you know? I mean, Berdly, he can be a little obnoxious sometimes, but maybe he's really got this figured out. It's a difficult question. Oh no, even Susie figured it out. Even Susie. She doesn't even study. I mean, she's not even a gamer. What an embarrassment. So yes, really all you have to do is fill in all of the holes. And then it's done. It's actually the easiest of all three puzzles. No, this is going to send Berdly on a complete mental breakdown. The fact that Susie was able to beat something he couldn't. And Susie, completely rubbing it in. She has not learned a thing in earlier chapters. She is going to be a total asshole about this. Meanwhile, Lancer's just chilling. Literally, I think he's losing all of his body heat. So the truth comes out. I suppose what we saw earlier now makes a little bit more sense. It was a memory locked deep within Noelle's mind. And apparently Berdly remembers a lot about it too. Everyone likes being called smart. So yeah, Berdly is actually a very, what's the right term? Neurotic kind of guy. He's afraid. He's afraid that if he goes somewhere where Noelle isn't around, he won't get praised for being smart anymore because he's really not that smart. And honestly, I have to say, I realize I'm interrupting Berdly a little bit here, but I relate to this a lot. When I was a kid, I was big into smarts. It was sort of my thing. I memorized a lot of trivia facts and things like that. It was something important to me. But I don't really think intelligence is as important as I thought it was when I was a kid. It's very overrated, and furthermore, smart people can make stupid decisions. Berdly is a prime example of that. Oh my god. And now the real truth comes out. Susie was a gamer the whole time. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship, kid. Oh. Yeah, so just like Susie learned that good guys have to be nice, which means she should be a bad guy in Chapter 1, Berdly has learned that being smart isn't all it's cracked up to be, so just be stupid, and it doesn't even matter. Everyone learns the wrong lessons. Except us, except Kris. Kris doesn't learn a goddamn thing. Which is just fine. Yeah, so we have these strange sort of butler-looking guys. Slightly reminiscent of Spain. Oh, well, hey there, Ralsei. You've been a big damn help. Oh. This really was kind of hard for me to watch the first time, because I do like Lancer a lot. And, yep. So, Lancer basically doesn't belong here. It's like the atmosphere isn't right for him. So when he's in it, he loses his vitality and he becomes a statue. So we need to not get him out of here. Even though he helped us out of the room, which was very nice of him, it really would be better off if we just left him in our pocket. Worst ending. We can't let that happen. Well, I'm sure this will be a very intelligent plan. Now that we know that Berdly actually isn't that smart and never was. truly the best plan. You know what? That's actually not a bad plan. I'm impressed. The simplest plans, generally speaking, are the best. So yeah, unfortunately, Lancer is going to stay there for a moment. This really isn't the time for dancing. I mean, look at Lancer. This is the time for being sad. I don't want to leave him, but we have to. This, I guess, was just sort of my way of giving him a group hug. And then a little thoughtful side shuffle, as I'm wont to do sometimes. So yeah, this is the main section of the castle, which is, of course, the last major section of the game, but it is quite a long section, so we're still pretty far from the end at this point. Look at this cool, suave individual. Oh, no. Why would we ask about Ralks? I didn't even want to know he was in this game. I was hoping we could get through a game without... I was hoping we could get through a chapter without him being involved. So, I'm still holding out hope. Even though I've already seen this and I know what's going to happen. But one can always hope. Gift shop / cafe. What is this, a museum? But yes, we can buy things that we will later use to help defeat the Queen. So once again, I have no idea why this man's helping us do this, but whatever. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, or a gift butler. Really, you shouldn't you shouldn't look a butler in the mouth at all. You shouldn't lift a butler. So yeah, I buy a little spaghetti. Could be useful. In my experience, healing the whole party at once can actually be very beneficial. Even if there are some members of the party who don't really need it. If there's more than one person who needs healing, you don't want to waste time using multiple healing items. The interesting thing is that Undertale never really had this problem. It was a simpler game where you only had one party member. I feel like, ironically, even though Toby Fox seems to think most RPGs are murder fests, in this one he had to spend more time thinking about how RPGs work. He had to spend more time thinking about equipment, about healing, and stuff like that. It's almost like he's growing into being an ordinary game developer. But no, I'm sure he could never be ordinary. Not our boy Toby Fox. Anyway, I spend a little time dealing with equipment here. Which is something I actually haven't done for most of the rest of the chapter. The interesting thing about this game, which is really actually similar to Undertale, is that you don't need to fiddle around with equipment all that much. Since everything is so heavily based on the actions you perform while in battle, the need for, protection against certain things or certain elements really doesn't come up. It's a different kind of game. It is an interesting thing that I think Undertale and Deltarune have both attracted a large audience that is not into ordinary RPGs at all. So it doesn't appeal to the kind of people who like the classic JRPG style. It appeals to a totally different market. Oh boy. And here we have the Queen's magnificent MS Paint view screen, featuring animation that, no joke, I could probably literally do better. And a bunch of Mona Lisa portraits, but they have the Queen's head on them instead. I wonder how long it took Toby Fox to come up with that idea. But yes, there are also special portraits in this room that we need to turn around in order to make things slightly more survivable. Oh, and here's a little secret. A revivement, very potentially useful. Revival items are another sign in a Toby Fox game that you're getting close to the end. Much like the all-party healing items. For some reason I go back here and I have no idea why, because there really is nothing productive to do. But of course, I am able to save, which heals me fully. So, hopefully that will make up for the fact that we will start being attacked by fire immediately upon entering this room. Oh. See, I'm sensing some contradictions in these rules, because you say have fun, but also respect the pottery, but I need to be able to break the pottery in order to have fun. I'm sure you would realize that, being a queen. So yes, these enemies have kind of an interesting little thing. You need to make them warmer or cooler. You can also do the special ability of half-warming them, which will get them through degrees, just one stage of a different color instead of two. I really like dodging these attacks, so you have these little dinner plates coming in, and sometimes inside them will be a little mint, and if you eat the mint, you will be healed. Very appropriate for the refined setting that we find ourselves in. Feels like I'm a Doubletree already. So yeah, it took me a little while to figure out how the color scheme worked on this. But the goal is to get them both to be the same color in order to be able to spare them. Now, I'm not entirely sure if they have to be the same color while you are sparing them, or if it's just that you need to get them there in order to make them sparable plainly. So it looks like you just need to get them to be the same color once, and after that point, if you ruin it, it's still okay. Not sure if my past self has realized this yet, however. There we go. Past self figures it out eventually. There we go. And of course they dab when you spare them, because that's the appropriate response. Oh. Of course, we should have suspected that this was the way it was going to work, right? Okay, I don't like this. Toby Fox, you clever bastard. This one actually, though, does seem like it should be pretty simple. Like, we just need to make this guy warm. Not quite enough, it would appear. So yeah, this is their other attack, just a bunch of birds flying at you. Fairly easy to dodge, all things considered. But yeah, Ralsei is having a little bit of trouble, so... I'm gonna try to protect him. And still attacking us with birds. Not sure how I feel. Now we can get rid of him. We'll make your blood sheets red? You and what army, my friend? Your friends seem to have left you. So let's just get rid of you. Also, apparently he's tired now. So, I guess you can tire these guys out just by making the battle go on long enough. This was a strange little failsafe that Toby Fox seemed to have put in. I never actually ended up relying on it, but it does seem that if you spend enough time in a battle, without actually getting to the win conditions, you will still be able to get rid of them with Ralsei by making them tired. Oh no. I can sense in this room that there is a quiz upcoming. So yes, each of these have a different label on them. They are all the same picture, so all you really need to think about is what they have written. The one on top has task written normally. The one on the bottom has it written as the enemy is normally named. That's Timberly, for some reason that I'm sure Toby Fox at least understands. And then the one on the left is task with a C. And I just have no patience for this. Like, seriously, Toby Fox, if you want me to get out a notebook to play one of your games, that's not going to happen. Honestly, I do not really like this at all. I feel like, at this point, you might have just turned this into a battle, because this is a pain in the ass. So yeah, let's just fight. I was planning on doing this the whole time. It is a little strange to me that Toby Fox would ever have a system where by answering some questions correctly you could skip a fight. Because frankly, just like in Undertale, the fights are the main point of this game. They're where most of the enjoyment comes from and the challenge. So why you would want to skip them, I really have no idea. I feel like that's kind of an awkward way to do this. But you know. I'm not Toby Fox, I'm not a game designer, so maybe I should just shut my mouth. So So yes, let us get rid of the Taskmaster. I did not realize that you didn't have to do anything to the tasks. But whatever, you know, you live and you learn. Oh god, not one of these puzzles again. Let's stick with the car puzzle, it's less annoying. You know, marginally less annoying. Yeah, this one is fairly simple. You just need to know that all of these things need to be pushed. And you need to know that those things are upcoming. With their sweet cup and cakes legs. Oh no. Nothing can withstand the power of mice. So the Queen has gone on with her ripping off major works of art. Now, of course, she's ripping off Rodin's The Thinker. And I'm screwing around with equipment again for some reason. No idea why. It may just be because I got some items in the last couple of rooms. But yeah, really nothing to be done here. Just a room full of crap. Yes, such craftsmanship. Very statue. So yeah, there's nothing in that room. I have no idea what the point of it was. Let's just go to the left. And yeah, we have to do this. We could have just done it from the very beginning, and then there wouldn't have been any trouble. So yes, this actually is different from what we saw earlier. Now we need to avoid the balls in order to not be hurt. Somewhat clever. Honestly, not my favorite kind of puzzle in this game, though. Oh, and we finally made it to the dinner party. So now things will stop attacking us. We can eat a lovely lid under a lid. Finest dishes. Or perhaps you would like checkmark. You know, if you're a fan of Twitter. No, only Nubbert is better. Nubbert is better than everything. And apparently he's moving up in the world, I suppose, simply because he now has a toupee. Oh boy. Fairly simple puzzle here. Honestly, I don't know what to think about puzzles like that. I mean, obviously, they don't do any harm, but it's such a cliche, and it's been done so many times that I'm not a fan. I honestly think it might be better for games just to not have it anymore. But, you know, to some people, it's an old classic. There's an upside-down Mona Quina. Not quite sure what that's supposed to mean. So yes, at this point we also unlock a couple shortcuts. Here's a way to get back down to the first floor. But we need to first unlock the key. And a puzzle that is even more or less easy than the last one. It's still nowhere near not easy. No, I read that wrong. It's nowhere near not easy. So yes, I do have plenty of extra cash at this point, and there's not a lot to buy in the end game, so I did figure I might as well buy a few more healing items before I head back up. So yes, let us move on to the kitchen. Oh. Not a good sign, it's a mouse. And these guys are dancing up and down on their tiptoes like this is a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Nobody likes Mises. Eating cheeses. And now they've apparently turned into some kind of like token ring land thing. And oh boy. Turned into little mice, we have to trap them all. Very similar to Boolossus from Luigi's Mansion. For those of you who are old boomers like me. Yeah, let's catch some more. Get rid of these mice. I don't like mice. Honestly, I have to say, even though the way you spare these guys is more interesting, their attacks really are not terribly interesting at all. I'm also not entirely sure if you have to catch all the mice in order to make them sparable. I suspect and fear that it is, in fact, true. Yeah, and really, this attack is just repetitive. There's not much that we're doing here. So I figured a few regular actions might just come in handy here. And really, the only difference from trapping versus trap X for everybody... is that you get a smaller cage. But yeah, it turns out we didn't even need to do anything because the task manager was just going to do it anyway. Which, that is definitely how I use my computer. Task manager does everything for me. I, in fact, will not even use the red X to click out of windows out of principle. I always use task manager. And back for some quick healing. Because I am a scrub who requires every possible prop in order to get through this game. And you're just going to have to learn that about me. Once a scrub, forever a scrub. But anyway, now the next area is open, and we can head through it. There we go. More shortcuts. And welcome to one of the stranger rooms in the game. So we're gonna trying to get out of here, but it's like Lieutenant Surgeon here. We gotta check every single one of these stupid things. Let's see, gotta find the perfect one. There's one that has a single pixel that's out of line, and that's the one with the key is underneath. No, actually that was complete bullshit what I said. There is absolutely no way to determine which one the key is under. In fact, I am pretty sure that you cannot even find the key at this point. This is all a ruse, it's a fake puzzle, like so many things in Toby Fox. No, the truth is, one of these things is not in fact a tray at all. You can see it sort of scoochling around when you're off screen, which is suspicious. You've probably already seen it. But I haven't. Past self letting me down again. I'm just losing it in here. This is so disconcerting. Went back to the door just in case it unlocked itself in the intervening time, you know. Sometimes you bore a door so much that it just decides to take pity on you. Ah. That is a dog. That is not, in fact, a dinner. That is a dog. Oh. So yes, the real goal, of course, is just to get rid of all these frickin' things. I'm having a good time. Well, this is certainly one way to get through the area. Thank you, dog. Truly, you are the greatest member of our party. You weren't here for very long, but you certainly left an impression. Dog. Yes, here once again, if you break the pots, you end up in the Schwatz. Whatever that means. No. I think I have finally figured out how to work with these guys. Or not. No, what I could have done was I could have just used Susie's S magic on the orange one, and that would have turned it red, and that would have been pretty fine for sparing purposes. Instead, it's going to take longer because I'm a fool. I think one of the things that was holding me back at this point was that I assumed that if you warmed them up too much, they would go to the other extreme. You know, sort of like what happens in some other Toby Fox situations, where you can just cycle through colors endlessly. But in this one, you do actually have a hard limit at either red or blue. They won't go farther in their color than that. Which is just fine. Because the fact is, we don't want to get in any more fights with these guys. We don't need to spare anymore. So really, at this point, it is just a pain. And this room is full of UFOs, which is no fun at all. I have no idea what I'm doing, and it is causing me a great deal of distress. So I am not sure, actually, if you need to open every single one of those in order to get this treasure, or if it is just on the far left, and I could have gotten it without any damage and any risk of injury whatsoever. I may just be an idiot. Here we have a lovely view of what appears to be a giant statue of Queen. Or who knows, it might be Queen herself. She might just be bigger now. You can never tell with this silly game. I mean, look at that. Just squishing pottery all over the place. Now, I figured it might be that there was something to the right that we couldn't get if we go all the way, but actually there is nothing. And once again, it is just wasted time. So let's scurry on out of here. Smashing as much pottery as we possibly can, while not attempting to. While attempting to. I don't know what made me so violent at this point. Maybe I was just upset by that last puzzle, or being attacked by all those UFOs. Yes, let us hurry past. I'm getting kind of sick of this museum gallery, I don't know about you. And let's ride the teacups again. So this one's a little different. Now they're moving, and now they're also staying on board. You need to be a little more careful to avoid them here. I find it generally helps to move in one direction instead. That's disgusting. Notice that Susie didn't get dirty. She's just sitting there bathing in all that tea. Or whatever it was. That Takeshi's Castle goop. These three are just watching a movie. Private screening. They're just enthralled. I notice, however, that they do appear to be bowing their heads, which means they're not looking at the video, they're looking at the carpet, which, to be fair, is somewhat more interesting than the video. Let us make haste. As if this were Final Fantasy. But no, nay, Kris is not a gamer. Let us go, fellow gamers. Rise up. So yeah, you don't get to go with Berdly. You get to go with Rawlsay. Tough question. But no, I don't think Rawlsay is a lackey. I think Rawlsay is an annoying goat that won't leave me alone. And on that note, good night, everybody. See you next time.